No, so connection. Welcome to the most extreme menage a trois of violence you'll ever experience on the Extreme Three-Way Dance. JT, Jenny, and Matt going through the history of Extreme Championship Wrestling every other Thursday on North South Connection. You can watch us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel there, or listen to this on any podcast app. The majority of our shows are simulcast, both audio and video, but we do have some exclusive content on each. So to subscribe to both, and you'll never miss a thing. Also follow us on social media and you can catch everything. And of course, here we're going through all of ECW. We started in February 1994. We are in August of 1998 and or August 1998, and hurtling toward Heat Wave. That song that was it Martha and the Vandellas sang about? Did they do Heat Wave?
I think that's right. I think it's Martha something. It's Martha something.
Martha Wayne.
It was Martha and the Vandellas. That was
Wow.
correct.
Look at that.
Nice pull.
Wow.
It's a Heat Wave. Anyway, I'll talk about that in 2 weeks. Tonight, we're going to get to the build to it. We're going to start on July 25th, 1998, where Joey Styles is in the ring.
I thought it was the 18th.
Are we on the 18th?
We are, in fact, on the 18th.
July 18th, 1998. We start with the clips from the wild ending of last week's episode. We get our opening animation, and then Joey welcomes us into the nest, where Bam Bam Bigelow is glaring into the camera angrily. Shane tells him to relax, as Taz won't come from that direction. He says he has a great insurance policy. Just wait there. Shane has a larger brace on, talks about how he wrestled hurt, and they almost had to cut his arm off. He worked injured, and now he's working as an analytical announcer, not telling jokes and messing around, but he can't do his job worrying about Taz coming in. So Bigelow is necessary to watch his back. Any comments quickly on that little start?
It was amazing. It was so great. I love it. The whole camera full of Bigelow is just so striking, and Shane just yucking it up, right? And with his fucking broke ass arm and shit. It's so dumb and great.
Bam Bam, stand over there. Taz
Over there.
Never think to come from over there. It's
He's
fine.
not going to come that way.
I love the Shane laugh. It just kills me.
All right. Our opening match is the Blue World Order. Nova and Meanie taking on Chris Candido, Lance Storm. Nova and Meanie dance out. Candido and Storm come out. They look like they're still teaming, even after dropping the belts. We've come a long way with these guys. A couple months ago, they couldn't stand each other. Shane is hyping Candido as the anchor of the triple threat. Storm says he wants to know who booked these matches against these guys in this building. He's a former champion. He's not going to work an opener against these bums in a building like this. This is the Calgary Pavilion, and it doesn't deserve his talent. The crowd is all over him. The match can occur without him, though. Meanie takes the mic and asks Storm where his belt is, and the crowd gets even more heated. Storm takes a chair and sits at ringside and says he's going to watch the match. I am really liking Storm's new character. We can talk more about it in a minute. Candido and Nova ease in as the crowd chants for Taz. Nova keeps Candido off balance, sticking and moving. He frustrates him. Nova gets two on a clothesline, but he gets crotched, and Candido hammers away, gets a top rope superplex for two, but he pulls him up. Our old Too Cold Scorpio special. Candido gets a delayed vertical suplex and a perfect middle rope leg drop. He picks up Nova again. Candido mashes him with a powerbomb. Storm looks on from his seat as Candido goes up but misses a swan dive headbutt. Meanie gets a tag and comes in hot as Joey says Meanie has slimmed down. Meanie keeps battering Candido, but Candido pulls the ref in the way of an avalanche, and he gets taken out. So Storm takes advantage, gets on the apron, hits Meanie with a chair, and Candido covers for the win. Fun little match. I like the segment. Candido is so good. Bumping, feeding, his offense is elite, just across the board. Storm's new personality is a big addition. Just him being just like a snob, I guess, but also kind of a tough guy and backing it up has been good. He doesn't give a shit. The BWO perfect for this role. Everything clicked. The crowd was revved. I went 2 3/4, Jenny. It's a fun opener, and I love Storm's gimmick, and it played really well into this match.
2 3/4 for me too. My first note was like, wow, Storm and Candido were just champs and we're already like down to the BWO. Like it felt like a huge demotion. But it ended up being like super fun. Nova is fun. I like Nova. I like watching Nova. They did some chain wrestling with Candido. I'm really entertaining, great stuff from both of them. Then Meanie being the heavy, but not quite as heavy, apparently, since he's slimmed down. Was just really perfect in this. And was it on purpose? Were they fooling? Was Lance Storm, is this part of his strategy? Did they mean for him to be like this and to come in and fuck up the match with the chair? Or was that just what he did? I don't know. But I really liked it, Matt.
Yeah, I went 2.5 on it. It's a good match. Meanie saying Lancey Poo at the beginning was something haunting my dreams. And then him asking, "Where's your belts?" I thought just being a douchebag, it just gave this match a little extra something, and I enjoyed it for that. Like you said, JT Candido just busting his ass in this match, as he does in every match, but like in this one, he just, especially considering he's working the entire match himself, like he just went off in this, and he was great during it. And I love Storm just sitting at ringside for the entire match with his feet up on the apron, just perfect. My guess is that he kind of wanted to do that, and it wasn't like a fixes in type of situation.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But then he just couldn't resist. He wanted to get a win.
Right.
So he's like, you know what? We're going to win this match, and it's going to be because of me. You know,
Okay.
That's what I took from it.
That's kind of how I read it too.
Yeah,
I agree.
But it's a really fun showcase for these two guys again as we continue the Storm Candido stuff. So a unique finish to a solid match. So 2.5 for me.
Fonzie's with the tag team champions, Rob Van Dam and Sabu. They're ranting about Heatwave. RVD says he's built them up some big houses, and on this pay-per-view, he's going to defend the tag titles instead of the TV title. Last pay-per-view, defended the TV title, wasn't all it's cracked up to be. He says they're going to defend my tag titles because they're world titles. He doesn't care where the challengers are from, Japan, England, Czechoslovakia, although they probably don't have wrestling there, or Vietnam. And Fonzie says, that's not a good one for me, Daddy. RVD says he wasn't there in Vietnam, not even Kalamazoo. It doesn't matter. If RVD defended the TV title, no one would care about Sabu, so he's going to defend the tag titles instead, so people will care about Sabu. Just amazing. I don't know how we can keep putting praise on it. I mean, we don't do these nearly the justice. So he's saying, RVD does this thing, like, these are all worth watching every week.
Yes.
Every week. We don't do it any justice.
It's perfect. And Fonzie, the fucking Vietnam.
Oh, God.
That's not good for me, Daddy.
We don't talk about that, Daddy.
We go back a couple weeks for highlights of Onita arriving in the arena to double-cross Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman and the brawl that ensued. We then go to New Jack, who's on a subway car, and says, of course, here he is, not in a gym. He's getting ready for Jack Victory at Heatwave 98, and if Victory wants trouble, he picked the right person. He messed with someone that'll set his ass on fire. Victory came out from under a rock to mess with him, and he'll take him to the extreme, show him what violence is all about. Victory can bring his bow-legged ass to the pay-per-view, and it'll take him to a new level of violence and beat the dog shit out of him. Victory started something he can't finish, and New Jack has the green light to go and do whatever he wants. Beat Victory to the ground. Victory will feel what it's like to stand at the end of an OG ass whipping. He's got a criminal record and a college degree, and he never gave a shit. And Victory can watch how he gets put down. Usual New Jack stuff. I think it was rambling a bit, but made his point. Good hype, and I always mark out for using bow-legged as an insult.
Yes.
It's one of the best, Matt. What did you think of this promo?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a unique setting for it, too, with it being in the subway. I thought it was just an interesting visual to see him cutting this promo in the subway. You're right. He was kind of rambling by the end. He did seem like he kind of lost the thread a bit by the end there. But, I mean, he got his point across. And Jack Vickery is going to die at Heatwave, I think. His bow-legged ass, as New Jack said, is going to die at Heatwave. And I'm sure it's going to be very entertaining, Jenny.
Yeah, like this is like a little mini feud within a feud type thing. It's kind of just been like spots mostly with guitars smashing each other in the head with things. But this promo I thought really elevated that, kind of made it a little bit more than what we've seen. Great. I thought it was really good stuff by him, even though it's rambling. It's kind of charming in his way because it's kind of great stuff that he's saying. He's just kind of freestyling. So I was in, and I would like to see him beat some bow-legged ass.
It's such an underrated insult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I got to use it more.
Yeah, we got to incorporate that.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorite sitcom insults of all time from Eastbound and Down. Quoting the clip. I think this is the one. We'll see. One sec. No, it's taking forever. Anyway. One more second. Here we go. Let's see if this is it.
Let's raise a glass, please, right here, to our corporate friends from the island nation of Korea. We welcome you. We hope for many successful years of happiness and prosperity to Kia Motor Company. 감사합니다. Also like to raise a glass to my beautiful wife, Donna.
Thank you, my Donna.
And her luxurious, sumptuous rack of booze. And I'd like to raise a glass to myself, the leader of this flock. I work hard every day at getting this hair in check. Otherwise, I don't work much at all. To me.
Dumplings are ready.
Mammy makes the best dumplings in the world.
Mammy's dumplings will make you come.
Oh, kung fu.
I thought I raised you better than that, boy.
You did, Mammy. I'm just all full of Fanta tonight.
You're going to be full of more than that and keep
I
talking.
don't know how long this is. Well, stop there. But anyway, I think it might be the scene. I think it's the scene. But it's when Kenny Powers leaves and he goes, "You get out of here, you bow-legged son of a bitch." And he says it so perfectly. My favorite insult. Hopefully I just brought back Eastbound and Down to your minds. It's my job. Joey, Shane, and Francine talk Heatwave 98 and the NAS New Jack versus Jack victory is official. All weapons will be legal in that match. I don't know that's different. Clips of Masato Tanaka's arrival in ECW. And Joey reveals that Mike Awesome and Justin Credible will take on Jerry Lynn and Masato Tanaka this weekend at the ECW Arena. As we cross those two feuds, Francine uses the camera to check out her outfit and her hair. Joey plugs the hotline, and that takes us to our opening match. And that is Masato Tanaka taking on... No. No.
Go on.
Nothing.
Oh, you want me to do it? I see.
I want you to do it. See, this is why you need to watch, because if you don't watch,
it's a great visual gag, I think.
Yeah, you don't get the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And if it's the FBI, that means it's time for our Italian lesson of the week. This week's phrase is "Le cane il culo."
Le cane el culo.
Le cane el culo.
Do either of you, let's see if you've been paying attention over the weeks past, remember what culo means? Maybe we could piece this one together ourselves.
He sang a Fantastic Voyage, I think.
Culo means, I got nothing.
It means ass, as in
does.
lick my ass. La came el culo.
Wow.
Le cane el culo.
I see. Wow.
Priceless lessons. Can't wait to go to Italy.
Like Dudley said to Alf Herman last week.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I wonder if Keithy used any of your handy phrases when he was.
I would hope he studied it on the way over.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume he did.
He didn't ask any of us.
Anyway.
Thanks.
We head to the Worcester Palladium and join in progress as Tanaka gets 2 on a missile dropkick on Tracy Smothers. Tanaka gets a hard clothesline, but Rich trips him up from the outside. Rich tosses 2 chairs in the ring. Smothers cracks Tanaka with it, but he no-sells 2 of them before a third takes him down. Smothers gets a near fall. Tanaka ducks a kick and unloads, but Rich hits him with a flagpole, and Smothers gets 2 on a side kick. Smothers lays the chairs down, puts Tanaka on top, but he dances like a goof, and that allows Tanaka to reset, hit the tornado DDT into the chairs for the win. This was fun from what we saw. It's the usual extreme extrapolation, usual Tanaka brawl with some sick shots and a good finish. Smothers to Smothers. Tanaka's undefeated. I went 2 stars, Matt.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I went 2 stars on it. Wasn't much here, but was pretty decent while it lasted. Just another showcase for Tanaka as he beats the piss out of Tracy Smothers in the Worcester Palladium. So 2 stars for me, Jenny.
Yes, I really like this. I did 2 1/4. I had to bump it up a little bit for not 1, not 2, but 3 chair shots to finally get his fucking hard ass head taken in. I don't know. That was fucking great. Smothers is always fun for me. So great pairing. Tanaka's doing these like interesting little matches. One was like real long, and his debut was great. I don't know. It's been going well for him, and I'm definitely enjoying him a lot.
Still regret not seeing Insane Clown Posse at the Palladium. Would have been right around this time, actually. Not too far after this. A few months later, probably. Joey Styles, Shane, and Francine talk Tanaka. Shane says Taz won't have the guts to show up this week because Bigelow's there. Shane says when he's healthy, he'd love to defend against Tanaka. Bigelow says all he thinks about is Taz. We get a highlight package of the Dudleys Beulah Shane's fake belt. Taz isn't even there, but he's coming. Bigelow won't face him, but he promises he can make it from Brooklyn to Queens. He jokes about he ain't stopping at tolls like a schmuck because he's got an easy pass. It's a big deal back then. And he'll be there to slap Bigelow's fat head, and they can settle it tonight instead of Heat Wave. Gone. Any quick thoughts on Taz bragging on his easy pass?
The easy pass was a hell of a thing back then. You're absolutely right. Taz coming from
Is it a status symbol?
Apparently, yeah. It's
he really drove over a lot of tolls.
It's not like that pay by plate bullshit they have here now. No, you had to have the thing on your visor. I can't believe that Taz is going to drive his ass all the way to Queens from Brooklyn. Who could have possibly guessed that Taz was going to attempt to go after Shane, despite Shane saying he's not going to come, not this week, even though he's been showing up in every fucking building that he's been in for the past, year and a half or so? So who could have possibly guessed, Jenny?
Yeah, that was dumb. That was real dumb. Shane and his fake belt really popped me. Fucking dumbass, Taz. Come on. I don't know. I believe him. I think he's going to show up, you guys.
Yeah.
And then Fran's like, yeah, let him come. And we're like, what? Why are you saying that? Stop saying that.
Have you been paying attention?
Joey is very nervous, as he should be.
Hopefully Bam Bam is standing in the right spot. Just
to
be on the safe side. Yeah.
All right, Rotten Balls. There was some fans. They talk about the care about ECW Pride and don't need to prove themselves. But Ball says gold will look good, and they get fired up and start yelling. Very random. Brings us to our last match of the night, and that is Justin Credible and Jason taking on Jerry Lynn and Pablo Marquez. Jason is with tights to team with Credible here. Chastity and Bass back them up. This is an elimination match. Joey says Pablo is back from training in the Extreme Dojo. Credible and Lynn throw down to get us going. Usual back and forth, intense and fast pace. We clip to Jason and Marquez are both now gone, and Lynn gets a gourd buster, follows up with a middle rope leg drop for 2, lays in some heavy chops. Lynn misses a charge. Credible slams him, heads up top, but Lynn follows. Lynn blocks a sunset flip powerbomb, gets a Rana for 2. We head outside where Lynn shoots Credible to the fans and heads to the apron, meets him with a springboard plancha. Back inside, Credible blocks a top rope Rana with a powerbomb. Joey says Taz is pulled up to the building, and Shane tells Bigelow he's here. Lynn hits a DDT on a chair as Joey's yelling that Taz is headed their way. Shane just sits calmly. Bass gets on the apron as Lynn loads That's Incredible, but Chastity comes in, hits Lynn in the head. We cut to the nest where Bigelow and Taz are brawling. A bell sounds in the ring, but it cuts out as Taz hits the camera. And we don't really know what happens from there. But I would say kind of tough to score this one. We saw a lot of it, but it was clipped. Chaos at the end. We missed the finish. On part the usual stuff from what we saw, but it's just really a backdrop to Taz. I went 2 3/4, Matt. I think that again, just trying to sell the chaos of Taz and Douglas. So
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a tough match to rate, and to be perfectly honest, I almost didn't rate it. Like I had, it's a tough thing to rate because at a certain point, the match just completely takes a backseat to everything that was going on with Taz. So I mean, I went 2 1/4 on it, because I still don't know what the hell to rate it. But I mean, we didn't even really see what the finish was, and I, for one, was shocked that Taz pulled up to the building and went in the booth. Who could have possibly seen that coming? And then he punches the camera, and we just fade to black. That was, I mean, it was kind of a neat touch. I'm not gonna lie, but just very random that I'm assuming Taz thought the camera was Shane's face because he was so heated and angry. I don't know, but I mean, 2 1/4 for the match, I guess. Jenny,
where did the tag partners go?
That's a great question.
Oh, they got eliminated during the clipping.
I swear I never saw them at any point.
They don't. They clipped past it.
Right.
They just they were
okay,
there.
fuck
and then
those guys. I mean, fuck
Right.
y'all. Like literally. Which
Look,
I mean,
wanna-
Jason and Marquez.
Hypothetical tag partners they were.
You
Yeah,
gotta accept the extreme extrapolation.
yeah. We're still working on that. Me and my AI. So anyway, what we saw of it was sick. You know, they're really good together, and we've seen them be really great together. Do we assume that Credible wins?
Well, it's 2.
Or
2
do
to
they
2,
just?
right? I don't know if this will count in the summer series. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know either. I feel like they don't really talk about it later, but maybe they do. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know if we ever find out. I'm sure if you
Hour-long
look up the
draw.
card, it's probably out there.
I bet it was an hour-long draw.
Think so?
Okay, my prediction is just Incredible 1. So
Right,
I did 2.5.
All right, let's get to our awards for this episode. Best match, believe it or not, for me, I went Nova, Meanie, just Candido and Storm.
Fuck yeah! That was really cool.
Okay. Worst match, I guess, Tanaka Smothers. Even though I feel bad because Tanaka is very good.
It was really good.
Was this is what taping? Was it July? No, August. Was it? Do you remember what July 18th? Was that the taping?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, no, that one's not. Nope.
Maybe they don't really count it. Maybe they just count it as a segment.
Oh no, this was Queen. Was this Queens or was this? Or is this?
This was the Elks in Queens. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let me find it. July 5th. No, that was there. July 3rd was the Elks. Yeah, that's this one. Jason Incredible one. Incredible Pidlin.
Boom.
There you go.
All right, thank you for that.
Yep. Best moment. I went Storm's promo for this one. I enjoyed it.
Taz beating the shit out of Shane was
that was kind of great.
And him mentioning Easy Pass was also very good.
I did like that.
Most 90s, we'll go with Easy. The idea of Easy Pass being like a luxury item.
Nice.
Yeah. And also Mahoney's perm with highlights.
Yeah.
Very 98.
Really I like
Worcester. I feel like for Northeast folks, the Worcester Palladium is very 90s.
Yes, very much so. Stock rising. I went Storm and Candido, RVD and Lynn.
New Jack.
Yeah.
Stock falling. I just went Jason.
Smothers.
Final grade, 5.5 out of 10 for me. Average, solid episode.
Yeah, I'm going to do 5.5 as well.
Yeah, same. It was a perfectly standard episode.
All right, let's go forward 1 week to July 25th, 1998. Joey's in the ring. We're back in the ECW arena. He's sweating. The crowd is lit. Starts shitting on Queens. Joey hypes Heat Wave and then brings out Shane Douglas and Francine. They're flirting on their way down. Shane says it's hot and sticky and moist, but enough about Francine's private parts. And then Joey drops the mic and looks up her dress, and Fran kisses him. Whatever.
He did not look up her dress.
He looked up her dress. He dropped the mic and they went like that.
He did drop the mic, but he didn't.
No, he was trying to look up her dress. 100%.
I think he was trying to. I mean, I don't know if he succeeded, but he
definitely let him. If he did, then she let him.
Oh, she let him, but he definitely that was his goal. We get our opening animation, then we go back to our threesome in the nest. They start to talk about Heat Wave, but Taz stalks to the ring and Shane gets angry. Francine says if Joey keeps up this attitude, he gets no more peekaboo. See? She let him peekaboo.
Right.
He says it.
But he says at the end, he says, I did not look up your dress.
Yeah, okay, Joey, whatever. We know what he's doing. Taz grabs a mic and says, 4.5 years ago, there was a major snowstorm. They had to delay a TV taping, and only 90 people showed up, including some of the same fans that are here tonight. And he was here too. Those people chanted ECW, and no one in the world but those 90 people gave a shit. Those people said, fuck the world then, and ECW held a tournament for the NWA title. Douglas won that tournament, and Taz was one of the guys he beat. Shane threw down the NWA title, turned Eastern to Extreme, and Shane said, fuck the world. Taz thought that was pretty cool. He was part of a movement, and Taz doesn't have to come out in an ECW shirt to prove his loyalty. Taz gets into it with a fan who's running his mouth. The rest of the fans start shitting on that fan. Taz says Shane lost his belt and ran to Vince McMahon. And everyone forgets Shane did that. But he calls himself the franchise, and the FTW belt's fake. But no, Shane's no franchise because the franchise stays, and a franchise wrestles in buildings with no shower or toilet. Taz has been at every show while ECW paid its dues. Guys like Dreamer and Sandman stuck it out, took small paychecks, and knew they would grow. They turned down bigger offers to stay loyal. Shane has the balls to say he's a franchise and built the promotion. And Taz says Shane was the foreman, but he left the job site, and Taz stuck it out. And just like Shane held up a belt in 1994 and said, fuck the world, that's what he does now. Taz never got a chance at that belt because Shane came begging for his job. Paul gave it to him in a title shot, and Shane cashed in. Not Taz, who's just a miserable workhorse who gets nothing but a TV title shot. And he made that belt, not RVD. When Shane wants to come out of the booth and go title for title, he'll make Shane tap. He then issues an open challenge for the FTW title, and out comes Bam Bam Bigelow to the ring. Shane says Bammer is his rebuttal. I thought this promo was fantastic. It's full of truth. It was well delivered. And Jenny, I'm curious, does this make you change your visions of the FTW title at all? when framed in the light that Shane did the same thing back in 1994 when he felt the NWA title was whatever, and he was going to create his own extreme, ECW championship and built the foundation. And then Shane left, and Taz and Dreamer and Sandman stayed. I don't know. I thought Taz was pretty on point in all of this.
I don't know. He's working hard. He's working hard to do it. I don't know. I'm mixed. I don't know. Something about it is not sitting right with me, but I can't really put a finger on it. But he did well. Like, it was well delivered, and I really thought he did win the crowd over by the end of it. So, what do you think, Maddie?
There was a lot of pent-up rage in that man, and he just let it all out in this 10-minute promo, just running down everybody, running down Shane, saying, even running down RVD, saying, I was the one who made the belt, not you, fuck you, basically, and the whole fuck the world thing, saying Shane isn't a franchise, just taking shots really at anybody that walks or anybody that Shane kind of associates with. So I get it. I get what he's trying to do here, and I do think it makes sense, and the promo was very well done. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes, but it is pretty similar to what Shane did. I mean, when you really think about, I hadn't really thought of it before this promo. It's like, it is kind of, it's not one for one the same thing, but it's like, it's pretty similar with him throwing down the NWA title and all that shit. But I mean,
that was more of a transformation than
right.
a fucking, poof magic,
right.
make it up.
Right. Shane didn't create a belt out of thin air, right? But
right, yeah. I think that's what.
But in his mind, it's the same approach.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't think of it from Taz's mindset, right? In his mind, he's doing what Shane did. He doesn't believe in that cause anymore, and he's going to create his own cause, and that's what Shane Douglas did 4 years ago. He didn't believe in the NWA anymore, and he threw that belt down and created the Extreme Championship Wrestling title.
At the same time, he is saying that he is ECW. I've been here every day.
And he's saying this is what ECW is now. Just like Shane said, ECW is no longer Eastern. It's Extreme Championship Wrestling, and this is the title. Chaz is saying that title no longer represents what ECW is about because Shane is hiding and he's injured and he's not defending it. This is the real title. I am the champion.
I don't know.
I think he's going to claim. Taz versus Bam Bam Bigelow is up next. We get a referee and a bell. Heatwave preview. Taz hammers away, kicks at Bigelow, catches him, drives him to the corner, hits a big suplex. Bammer stomps and clubs on Taz. Taz kicks back, kicks him hard in the head twice. Bigelow lays in some headbutts, but he's a trio of clotheslines, falls back hard. Taz goes up top, but Bigelow catches him. Taz counters to a DDT, goes to hook the Taz mission, but Candido and Storm come in for the DQ. They lay out Taz. Candido's wearing amateur headgear. We'll learn more about that. Candido and Storm use Rolling Thunder. That brings out Sabu and RVD. Sabu wants to go with Taz, but Fonzie stops him and offers a handshake to Taz. Fonzie keeps Sabu at bay as Taz grabs his belt. Fonzie recognizes Taz's title as legit. Sabu and RVD hold their belts up as Taz slowly leaves. So not a lot here, just an appetizer for Heatwave, more of a segment. Great heat, though, and an interesting tease. Is something brewing with Taz and Fonzie's crew. Jenny, what do you think?
Do we not just go through like a year of Taz versus Sabu? Like,
yeah, that was a year ago now.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's not done in a way though where it's like they're suddenly friends. Like it's almost like, all right, like the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing, right? Like they may find themselves in a weird place because they all have issues with the triple threat now. And Taz knows on some level, like he was friends before with Sabu and Fonzie, like there's something there. So maybe there's a little trepidation, but hey, maybe there's something cooking.
Okay. I don't trust that at all. I don't know. Did you rate it? Okay.
No, I didn't really think it was a match.
Yeah. I don't know. I like seeing Bam Bam. I like, it was, I don't know. All of this just kind of off for me. I don't get it, Matt.
I mean, I like the tease for Taz Bam Bam. Like, if you were iffy on buying the pay-per-view, it kind of showed you the stuff that they're going to do, as short as it was. You know, it was like, 2 minutes or so of a match before Sabu and RVD came out. I mean, the Sabu RVD stuff is very weird, especially considering Taz just shit all over RVD, saying, you know, Taz is the guy I'm the one who made the belt, not you, fuck you, basically. So, and I mean, I know it wasn't really RVD's thing. It was more about Fonzie, but...
Well, I think they usually position Fonzie as like a mastermind a couple of steps ahead, right? Like he kind of brought Sabu and RVD
I can't
together.
even get on board with that.
Well, they do though. That's how he's been presented, right? He's always kind of like thinking in the moment, like you can see the wheels turning. Like, okay, hang on, Sabu. Like I know you guys are rivals, but like it's 2-on-3 with a triple threat. Taz maybe is someone we could bring in to help us out, like, right? Like you could see him just thinking through it as it's going. I think that's how they're trying to present it.
All right.
I mean, I do like that Taz didn't shake his hand, because I think, you know, maybe eventually that'll happen. But
I like that Sabu protested. He was like slapping Fonzie, like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah,
like I did enjoy that because that seems real to me. And I don't know, like
it is very strange, because it kind of came out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of ECW things. Like they do these stories. But I don't know. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. Because to me, it's like I felt more like it was Fonzie in the moment than like a setup or a plan. And Taz is like I don't know yet. Right? But like we'll see. Maybe things escalate and Taz needs them.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Maybe it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, we get Joey, Shane, and Fran hyping up Heatwave. They run down the card. And then we head to the first of a series of matches that's going to happen tonight between Beulah's Avengers and the Dudleys. Whatever side wins this series tonight gets to pick the stipulation for the six-man war that is happening at the six-man war that's happening at Heatwave. They get to pick the stipulation, the winner of the series. So we get Tommy Dreamer taking on Bubba Ray Dudley, and they circle around to start. Tommy is quite intense and angry as we lock up. We get some reversals. We clip to Tommy pounding Bubba in the corner, drop kicks him in the nuts. We clip again to Tommy pouring it on. Bubba bounces all over the place. Clip to Bubba battering Tommy on the floor. He crotches him on the railing. Bubba grabs a chair. He smashes Tommy in the head. We go to Bubba suplexing Tommy on the floor. Jeff Jones screams at the ref to count him out. Tommy gets help from the fans to get back in the ring. He then snaps Bubba across the top rope, gets a slingshot splash for a near fall. We clip to Tommy flying into Gertner, Jones, and Sign Guy with a Pescado, throws all the bodies in the ring. Tommy double DDTs Jones and Sign Guy, and then the Beulah Dalva goes with them, which is funny. Jack Victory comes in. Tommy DDT's Victory, but Bubba hits Tommy with a guitar and covers him to win the match and go up 1-0 for the Dudleys here. That's a pretty good brawl. Again, it was clipped up pretty good. The Dudleys continue to torture Tommy. They use their bag of tricks to steal the match, and they get to pick the stip potentially. Lots of clips here, standard stuff with some nasty spots. I went 2.25, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it was perfectly fine for what it was. I went 2.5 on it. Like you said, it was clipped all to hell. It looked like it was a pretty good match, but the guitar shot at the end was brutal looking. I thought that was great. Kind of a shocking win, too, like Bubba beating Dreamer. Kind of what I wasn't expecting that to be the match where, you know, they go down 1-0. I thought Dreamer was going to win relatively easily here, so kind of surprised by that, but that's a good thing in my book. So 2.5 for me, Jenny.
I was also surprised by the ending. I'm not a fan of that, actually, but I did like the match. I liked the blood. It was really good. And I liked the spot where the fans helped Tommy to his feet because, you know, he was dying from blood loss. But then he hit that double DDT. That was really good. And then the guitar shot was really good, too. So 2.5 for me.
All right. The Francine mocks Beulah and the Nest, brags about being the last one standing. Joey is not happy. Back to the ring we go to continue our series. The Sandman takes on Devon Dudley. Sandman's got a lot of pressure on him here. Joey shouts out his mom, says she's watching the show at the Body Bob's Tattoos and Booze down the street where they all, you know, Shane's kind of aghast, but Joey says, "What are you aghast about?" We all go there after the show. I looked it up. I don't think it exists, but I think it's like something else now. But yeah, what's the place? Body Bob's Tattoos and Booze. Mrs. Fullington. The crowd is hot for Sandman as he smashes Devon with a cane. Devon crumbles to the floor. Sandman gets a mic and rallies the fans. Sandman sets up a table bridge and puts Devon through with a leg drop. We clip to Devon working over Sandman on the floor. Clip to Devon shouting his commandments while caning Sandman in the head, but he misses a third one, and Sandman finishes him quickly with a Russian leg sweep to tie things up. Again, really quick highlight. Sandman's super over. The table spot looked great. The series is now tied up. I just went a star and a half, Jenny. I mean, it's whatever. It's clips.
Another surprising ending. I would think that Sandman would be the one that loses here.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think Devon's just the weaker link of the Dudleys.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that.
Yeah.
He don't try to swing a cane with Sandman because you're just not going to win that.
Yeah.
So, I like this. It was quick. Crowd's eating Sandman up. So I did 1 3/4 stars.
Yeah, I went star and a half on it. It was fine. The finish out of nowhere was interesting. The leg sweep while Devon's just, shouting his commandments, like you said. But yeah, outside of that, not much here. So star and a half.
All right. Joey hypes up the finals, and Shane and Francine try to keep cool. And that brings us to Spike Dudley versus Big Dick Dudley. Spike hammers away to start, hits a low blow and an acid drop for 2. Spike keeps unloading, but Dick shoots him to the floor. We clip to Dick throwing Spike through a table. Clip again to Spike dodging an avalanche, hitting a headbutt to the balls of Dick. Spike gets a bulldog and tries another acid drop, but Dick straightens up and hits a nasty Big Dick driver to win the series for the Dudleys, who now get to pick the stipulation as it should be. 1 star for that one, Matt.
Yeah, same 1 star again. Not much here, but it gives the Dudleys the win in the series, which to me that makes sense. Have the Dudleys pick it, and they've gotten everything else in this fucking feud. You might as well just have them pick the stipulation too while you're at it. So 1 star for me.
Look, Spike is super over with me. I really wish he would just hit him in the balls and the acid drop, and then had another 5-star match, but the clipping was annoying to me, and this one I kind of would have liked to see more because it looked really fun to me. I like the headbutt to the balls and then the bulldog combo, and the Big Dick driver at the end was sick as hell, so I did 1.5.
All right. Chris Candido and Lance Storm are backstage. Storm talks over Candido. Suddenly, he's way more aggressive. He tells Candido to trust him, and then he does a trust fall off a chair to show that they're good. Storm says 8 days ago, Candido almost has his ear ripped off his head in Boston, and Storm helped him take care of him. Went to the hospital and wants to avenge his partner and prove they're the best in the sport. Storm's basically acting like Candido, so it's funny. He's ranting and raving. And, so Candido's got a torn ear. He's got the Rick Steiner earmuffs on. Joey, Shane, and Fran talk about that injury. And that brings us to our tag title rematch. Rob Van Dam and Sabu taking on Chris Candido and Lance Storm. We join in progress. RVD and Storm are trading spurts of offense and counters. RVD nails a spin kick. We clip to Candido in his amateur headgear, throwing down Sabu in the corner. We clip again to Candido and Storm trying to double team. Sabu takes them both down with a DDT. We clip to RVD working over Storm. Candido comes in and takes over, hits an awesome delayed suplex. We clip to Storm and Candido hitting a top rope double superplex for 2 in a great spot. We then clip to Storm hooking a single crab and Sabu making the save. Candido gets a swinging neck breaker. We clip to RVD dodging a charge. It's a side kick off the middle rope. We clip to RVD nailing Candido with a somersault senton to the floor, hangs him on the railing, but Candido knocks RVD off the apron and flies into the crowd. We then get Storm going up top. He flies into RVD with a plancha, and then Sabu meets him with a triple jump dive. We clip to Sabu hooking Candido in a camel clutch. RVD hits a DDT, but Storm makes a save. RVD slaps Storm as the champions follow it with Rolling Thunder. The champs put the challengers on a table and try a diving splash, but Candido rolls away and they crash through Storm, who kicks out of the cover. Candido snaps RVD over with a great bridging German suplex for 2. All 4 guys brawl, and suddenly Storm turns and smacks Candido against his busted ear and walks off. RVD and Sabu hit a double team leg drop splash off the top and retain. Another great match with these guys. 4 of the best in ECW throwing down. Candido's a beast doing it with a busted ear, but so good across the board. Candido and Storm are finally done, but a different approach, right? We thought Candido would eventually turn on Storm, but it's Storm turning on Candido. The air smack was really well done. I went 3 stars for this. Again, we had a bunch of clipping, but it was really, really good, Jenny.
Yeah, once again, I kind of was bummed out by the clipping, but yeah, it was nuts, really. I mean, they were really balling out. Even Candido fucked up ear, was really going for it, and Storm was flying all over the place. They were clicking, like, it was working. And, Sabu doing Sabu things and being awesome, and flying around the Rolling Thunder was great. The table spot. Why did Storm turn? Do we know? Do we have a theory?
Not yet. We don't. But I would say he's just got sick of like Candido and the triple threat. Like, they did fuck him around quite a bit. Like, it worked for him while he had the gold, but now they lost the gold. Candido maybe sees him as a weak link, and he's going to punk him before he gets punked. Because with the triple threat, right, it's always kind of borrowed time. So I think he's just trying to be his own man.
So he just realized this in the middle of the match, and just like.
Well, I think maybe he saw Candido like as the weak link during the match with the busted ear and all that. And it was like, fuck it, I'm done.
Wow, that was brutal. It kind of levels up his character, I feel like, because that's a ballsy move. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was into it. I did 3 1/4.
That trust fall was a lie, and I will not stand for it. It's such a shame. I went 3 stars on it, like you guys. The clipping to me really hurt this, because I think the full match was probably really good. So I mean, I feel like I could only go 3 stars on it just based on what we saw. But what we saw was really great. So we get finally Storm and Candido are done, and I wonder too. And I thought about this. You remember that thing where when they were tag champs, they had that thing that Paulie said where they couldn't turn on each other while they were tag champs. So I wondered, had Storm wanted to do this all along, but he couldn't because they were champions. So that's
a great point.
That was what I was thinking. Was that maybe in the back of his mind, Storm had always wanted to do this, but then he couldn't because
too, right? Yeah, they get fired. So
because they'd get fired. So I had that in the back of my head too. But yeah, I mean, I like the previous match more, at least from what we saw. But this was still really great stuff. These 4 guys, just great chemistry with one another. So super fun stuff. 3 stars from me.
All right, it is now time for something we haven't had in a minute, and that is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Joey, Shane, and Francine in the nest. Joey says Candido and Storm are now going to wrestle at Heatwave. And he wonders who are going to be the next tag team title contenders, if it's not them, to take on RVD and Sabu. Fonzie, RVD, and Sabu are doing their thing backstage. They say they'll be at Heatwave and they need new challengers. RVD says everyone needs to be calm like him. He does his usual backhand comments. RVD says there are rumors their opponents could be from the WWF, WCW, Mexico, England, Japan, but they'll leave as champions, and says he has a reputation for being stiff and hurting people, but RVD 420 means he just smoked your ass. Gertner and the Dudleys are in an alley. They talk about fixing a penthouse pet, but it wasn't their fault, just products of their environment. Nobody invited her to Dudleyville. She should blame her boyfriend for bringing her. Bubba says Tommy's been in the company a long time, and he made mistakes like they all do. But Tommy's biggest mistake was bringing his 105-pound beautiful girlfriend to a wrestling ring, and anywhere the Dudleys are is considered Dudleyville. They do it all day, and the worst thing Tommy did was bring her there because they don't care who anyone brings to their world. They'll destroy them, and never again will Beulah walk the aisle and get in the ring with Tommy because she felt what everyone else will feel or has felt, the 3D. They snapped her neck, and Tommy should feel like crap because of it. Her blood is on his hands. We get a slow-motion package of the Beulah 3D. Tommy's backstage. He says when he got rid of Raven, he thought the pain would end. Then Jerry Lawler came in. It could have been anyone in ECW doing what they did because they blew WWF out of the water. But when you're a pro wrestler, your life is an open book. And as a kid who wasn't talented enough to make it on his own, using his name and family to make himself a star, they don't just attack you, they go for your friends. And everyone Tommy knows always gets hurt. Spike gets hurt every night. Sandman went to the hospital in front of his pregnant wife. And then somebody he loved his whole life, just like everyone else he loves, also got hurt. Tommy starts to cry. He says him and Beulah are supposed to be together forever and told each other everything. Tommy recites his vows and keeps smashing his head into the locker until he bruises and busts himself open. And he says, Dudleys until death do us part. Pretty dramatic scene. Tommy playing the down-out and depressed superhero. It's a good role for him, even though Beulah, I mean, she's not dead. She may not be here.
But Dudley's already buried her. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I guess she's dead in the construct of ECW. But, yeah, I mean, he's the classic superhero, right? That's his parents are dead, his girlfriend's dead, everyone's dead. Everyone gets hurt who goes near him, and he just needs to live a life of solitude. It's pretty much how he positions himself, Jenny. But I thought it's a pretty good Pulp Fiction. I mean, it's really just focused around this one angle, like the whole promotion's been. It's been very heavy on this angle for the last few weeks.
It was an elite Pulp Fiction for me. Like all three of these, like really hit. RVD, Sabu, Fonzie, all that was great. I mean, just continuing to be great. Fucking Bubba Ray, just spitting fire, man. He is just really. He was really feeling it. I was believing it, and it was really working. Like, you know, just over the course of like the last 2 episodes that we've done, he has just kind of gone beyond really. Even though you guys said it gets great, you know, I really doubted it. But yeah, I'm in now. That was a tremendous promo, and then Dreamer followed it up with another one, and he's always great, you know, especially when he's in pain. He likes the pain, so but this is just a level deeper than I think even Tommy's gone. Banging his head on the locker is very dramatic, and it was great. I thought this was amazing, Matt.
Yeah, I thought this was great. Probably the best Bubba has certainly looked, I think, as far as talking goes. I mean, just a great promo. And I love the setting they were into. They're like, it looked like some fucking outside of like some meat packing plant or some warehouse or something. It was just a great visual with everybody standing out there. And then you have Dreamer just pouring his heart out and also pouring his blood out all over that fucking
and tears.
And tears, and yeah, it's just super dramatic, and he's very upset, as it turns out, about Beulah getting her neck broken. Who knew? But yeah, great stuff here, just fantastic. You're muted. You're muted.
Can't hear you.
You're muted.
Okay. That wraps up that episode. Let's get to our awards. Best match for me is the tag title between Storm and Candido and RVD and Sabu.
Yeah.
Yep.
Worst match, I went with the Big Dick Little Spike match.
Big Dick Little Spike.
Wow. Yeah.
Best moment, I went with Taz's promo.
I'm gonna go with the Dudley and Dreamer promos.
Yeah, I think I gotta go with. I think I would go with Pulp Fiction as a whole, honestly.
Yeah,
RVD was great too.
Yeah, he was.
Most 90s, I went with Body Bob's Tattoos and Booze.
Yeah.
Headgear. I don't know if it's 90s or not.
Headgear.
Stock Rising, I went Taz, Dudley, Sandman, Storm.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yeah. You might be saying that a lot more now.
I'll probably say it just like that.
Stock
Tommy
Falling.
too.
Yeah, Tommy too. Stock Falling, I went Jeff Jones, Sign Guy, and Candido's ear.
His ear was falling for sure.
Yeah. All right, final grade. I went 7 out of 10. That was a pretty good episode. I mean, the tag title match was good. The Taz promo was great. The Pulp Fiction was great. The series was kind of whatever. It was all clipped up, but at least it was like angle progression. It's a pretty big episode overall.
I really enjoyed the little mini series you got there. You know, you kind of got to break everybody up a little bit, and I'll save some more comments about that for when we wrap up the whole episode. But yeah, I like this episode a lot. 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I did the 7 too. And the series, I mean, the match quality wasn't necessarily there, but there, like you said, there was angle advancement. There was a point to it, so it made sense. So,
all right, let's get to our final episode. That is August 1st, 1998. It's our go home for Heatwave. Fonzie, RVD, and Sabu are backstage to do their thing. They talk about Heatwave. They still don't have named opponents, but they're cocky anyway. RVD says Sabu is the most homicidal and then does his usual backhanded comments.
Dude, why? Why does that make me laugh? It's just
the delivery is amazing.
Yes. The delivery. It's totally the delivery.
Nails it and just grins like an idiot.
Every time he gets it. Every time. He doesn't miss one. He doesn't miss any of them. Joey, Francine, and Shane are in the nest. They welcome us in. They hype up Heatwave coming up this Sunday night. Joey reveals that RVD and Sabu will defend against Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinsake, formerly known as Kushi in WWF. Pretty big dream match at this time. And Hayabusa was someone you always heard about, like for me anyway, like someone who's just on AOL and whatever, reading newsletters, heard about Hayabusa. So this seemed like, a year ago we had the Michinoku Pro guys. Before that we had the AAA, Rey Mysterio and all those guys. Before that, not AAA, but CMLL. And then before that we had Malenko and Benoit. So this felt like the next installment of like, okay, the guys you may hear about and read about, they're bringing them overseas. Obviously Shinsake, we'd seen a bunch of us, Sakushi, but we get opening animation. Shane rants about Taz and the Nest as Joey hypes up Heatwave. We get clips of Bigelow and Taz at Living Dangerously. Taz is backstage. Talks about thinking about Bigelow beating him for the last 5 months. Been out here lying and saying his famous credo, but Bigelow can beat him, and he has. He's not bet because he's bigger or more experienced. He was just better on that night. No other reason. But now at Heatwave, it's not about the FTW title. This is about the trophy called a victory. And Bigelow has it, but in Dayton, Taz takes it back. And his credo comes back too, because he'll be able to mean what he says. He's real, not a fake shoot guy. Taz survived, but Bigelow beat him, and he doesn't lose a lot. And when he does lose, people talk. So Bigelow needs to ask himself if he can beat Taz again. But he can't let him do it, and he won't let him do it. I thought Jenny's the usual great go-home, hard sell Taz promo.
This is like better. Like this is more my style, more of what I want to hear from Taz. So I really, really liked this promo from him.
Yeah, I thought this was really good too. You always know you're going to get a good Taz promo when it's that extreme close-up of his face with the frayed towel on. So I feel like every time it's that type of promo, it's really well done, and this was no exception. So.
All right, Storm and Candido, we get their promo from last week. We get clips of Storm turning on Candido during their match. Douglas and shits on the Vanilla Storm and the Nest for stepping over the line after Candido and the Triple Threat carried him to greatness. Storm attacked him at his weakest point, going after his torn ear. Storm helped hold that ear together in the ambulance after the injury. And Joey reminds us that Candido and Storm will face off Sunday as he runs down the other matches. And then we get our big match that was hyped up a couple weeks ago. That is Masato Tanaka and Jerry Lynn taking on Just Incredible and Mike Awesome. I think it's time to debut a theme here on Extreme Three-Way Dance.
Yeah?
The amazing theme song of Mike Awesome. Awesome Bomb.
Hot.
Good luck getting that out of your head for the rest of the night.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
Amazing theme. All right, potential insanity here. This one looks good on paper for sure. These four guys have been awesome since they've debuted. Awesome, all of them. Styles says these guys will be in singles matches Sunday, so it's a preview. Jason and Chastity lead out. Awesome, Incredible. We get more Heatwave hype. Tanaka and Lynn rumble out next. We're set to go as Tanaka and Awesome start right off with heavy chops and no selling. Tanaka cranks Awesome with a hard clothesline, knocks him outside of the springboard clothesline. Tanaka barrels into him with a chair to the head, shoots Awesome back inside to reset. Lynn comes in, tries to come at Awesome, but gets overpowered to a pancake. Awesome mashes him with a leg drop, tags Incredible, comes in and swags through some strikes. Shane says Lynn has been battling Credible all summer and has to recalibrate against bigger guys now. Lynn comes firing back, hits a drop kick and a nice flying back elbow. Credible dodges a dive to the corner, takes back over, but Lynn counters to a Fujiwara armbar. Tanaka tags in, but Credible leaps across the ring and tags out. Awesome hits a release German. Tanaka pops up, slugs Awesome. Tanaka charges. Awesome hits a slingshot shoulder block for 2. Awesome hits a slingshot German, sets up a table at ringside. Awesome loads up Tanaka for a powerbomb, but Tanaka slips out. Awesome comes back with an Alabama slam for 2. He knocks Tanaka over the top. Credible and Lynn come in. Lynn throws him to the floor. It's a baseball slide to send him into the fans. Meets him with a springboard cross body. Awesome goes up top and springs off into the crowd as well in a great looking spot. Candido and Lynn throw down outside as Awesome slams Tanaka in the ring. Goes up top and it's a big splash, but Lynn saves. Awesome crushes Tanaka with 2 chair shots, but Tanaka keeps coming right back until a third shot destroys the chair and keeps him down. Credible tags in, but Tanaka kicks out and fires up, gets a nice power slam. Lynn tags in, gets a top rope leg drop for 2. Credible takes down Lynn, tags Awesome with batters him and gets 2 on a big splash and another near fall on a throw. Credible comes in and cranks a chin lock to a quick flurry of pin attempts by both guys. Credible gets a sidewalk slam to end the back and forth. Awesome tags in and unloads with an avalanche for 2. Lynn gets a Rana. Awesome tags out to Credible, who blocks a tag and keeps Lynn trapped. Lynn goes low on Credible and tags Tanaka, who cuts through both guys and mashes Credible with a running elbow and a hard clothesline for 2. Tanaka puts Credible up top. It's a superplex for 2 as Lynn wipes out Awesome. Tanaka lays 2 chairs on the mat, hits a tornado DDT, but Awesome makes a save with a chair shot. Lynn missile drop kicks a chair into Awesome, but Awesome hotshots Tanaka on the top rope and power bombs him through the table on the floor. Credible loads up That's Incredible, but Lynn reverses and hits his own tombstone and steals the win to a big pop. A great anchor match. All 4 guys are locked in, flying at a fantastic frenetic pace, mixing hard-hitting offense and hardcore brawling seamlessly. We also had the big table bump at the end for the pop. The chemistry smooth. It sets the stage nicely for Sunday. Awesome and Tanaka have been fantastic additions to this roster, Matt. I went 3.5 stars on this match.
I'm right there with you, 3.5. Hell of a preview for Heatwave. Just 4 guys going out there doing their thing, not holding back any. Which this close to a pay-per-view, it's like that takes some balls, and it's awesome. Pardon the pun. Awesome diving into Tanaka in the crowd. A fucking 6'8", 300-pound man just flying into the crowd like that is insane. Just the way he's able to move around the ring. That type of guy with that build just jumping off of shit like that, it's always fucking impressive to me. Just the stuff he's able to do in the ring, it's crazy. He's so good. Just you could tell all these guys really have meshed with each other. They've all worked with each other a decent amount. Awesome and Tanaka, Credible and Lynn. So
especially Credible and Lynn, yeah.
Right.
They've been fighting nonstop.
It was just fantastic. So many great spots. It's a great match. It's a hell of a preview. Definitely seek it out. If you've never seen it, it's kind of a hidden gem. I mean, I went 3.5 on it. So great stuff, Jenny.
Oh God, I fucking love this match. It's definitely a hidden gem. I did 3 3/4. So all the 6 spots, like just listening to you name them, they were incredible. The chemistry is off the charts for both teams. The commentary, I thought Shane really did a great job in this match. He had a lot of good points, and he's like really been seamless throughout all these episodes since he's joined Joey.
Yeah, he's great.
Really added so much to these shows for me, having him on commentary. He points out that Credible is using Mike Awesome to soften up the guys, which he's totally doing. And like, it's really good. Like, really awesome tag team stuff. Love that tornado DDT. We'll always pop for that shit. The table spot, Jerry Lynn reversing the pile drivers. That's my shit. I love that shit. Oh God, I love this match. It's a lot of pressure. I'm sorry, on Heatwave right now in my mind. So, look, it was fantastic.
All right, well, Joey, Shane, and Francine talk Heatwave. Shane says this pay-per-view has officially put ECW on the map as the best for good, and no other company will compete with this show. Shane and Francine will be in the booth to call it alongside Joey. We get various clips from the last few months to hype all the Heatwave feuds, capped by the final hard sell from Joey, Shane, and Francine. I thought this was a great go-home show.
Yep.
We had a really good match, a lot of recap, and I thought they did a nice job because sometimes these go-homes for them feel like they're limping to the finish. We talked about that a lot. Like it's either heavy recaps, heavy promo or hype, maybe a match too many in the build, but they really found a way to better map out the distance. And there was a big distance between the May pay-per-view and this one, right? So like they had a lot of time to fill, but they did it well. Yeah. I think part of it is that the Beulah feud is so hot that they did that early, but it was able to still carry 9 weeks of TV because of how intense it was. And, it's kind of there again. We talked about the last hot feud was last summer going into this pay-per-view around now. It wasn't a pay-per-view yet or, whatever that time was that they were doing it was what was it, the pay-per-view? What show was it with
Hardcore Heaven, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hardcore Heaven. Yeah. So that was like September, right, or whatever, August, September. So
yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, so that was right. That's when they were building toward. It was the ECW WWF feud. So we're kind of on that track. This is like their big summer feud for this year, and it's just as red hot, if not hotter, right now. So I thought they did a good job with this go home episode.
Yeah, I this is what I've been waiting for them to nail that in between times and the way that they've built it. And adding these new guys in here is like, boom, like all of a sudden I feel like everything exploded and we got so much good content. Splitting up all those little matches, doing the Dudley stuff, like it was perfectly spaced in there to where you're not doing like these overdosing brawls, so by the time you get there, you're tired of it. So yeah, like it's beautifully done. Like I've really super enjoyed the last like 7 episodes of TV that we've seen, like going into it. I'm super pumped for Heatwave and I don't, I hate to have that pressure on it, but you guys have said it's very highly rated, so I feel like it will deliver for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the best build. I mean, maybe outside of Barely Legal, it's probably the best build we've seen to a pay-per-view overall when you're factoring in everything that they've been doing. I mean, it's hard to argue with how great it's been. I mean, they're kind of...
Maybe since the first one. But
right, maybe since Barely Legal, right? But, I mean, they're kind of firing on all cylinders right now with just about everything. And I feel like going into Heatwave, it feels like as far as like the feuds, what do we have, like 6-7 matches on the pay-per-view? It feels like they're kind of taking a less is more approach when it comes to this pay-per-view instead of putting like some filler stuff on it like we've seen in some, especially the last 2 pay-per-views had some filler on it with like FBI and you had some promos.
Which we may still get. I mean, we may still get.
Right, you may still, but as far as like announced stuff,
right,
it feels like a less is more approach, and therefore it's all 6 matches on there.
You're right. It's only 6 matches. That's it. It's only 6.
Right.
They don't have anything else.
So it feels like they've shifted focus, and all 6 matches on that show are super important. And I think that makes sense to me. And it's a less is more approach, and I think it works here. So.
All right, let's get to our awards. Best match, I went with obviously the only match we really had, and that was Tanaka and Lynn versus Awesome and Credible.
Yep.
Worst match, none. Best moment, I went with Awesome springboard plancha to the crowd. Was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so fucking sick.
Most 90s, I went with the table Awesome bomb. I mean, probably gonna say that a lot, but Stock Rising, just everyone on here. RVD Taz, Awesome, Tanaka, Lynn, Credible.
Yep.
No stock falling for me on this one, and I went 6.5 out of 10. For the final grade. There's a very good go home. We had one really good match, a lot of hype, and we are ready for Heatwave.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I think, too hype because I did 7.5 out of 10.
No, whatever you're feeling.
I went 7 on it. So
this is the best build we've seen. I feel like I need to reflect that in the ratings.
All right. We'll be back 2 weeks from today, and we'll be covering Heatwave 1998. So. It'll be our 100th episode, so that's pretty cool. We'll be covering that and talk a little memory lane, as Mr. Devato said.
Memory lane.
We'll go from there.
Sir.
Oh, Francine's involved. Anyway, be sure to check out everything we have to offer, northsouthconnection.com. You can follow us right here on YouTube if you're watching, or on any podcast application as well. All across social media, we're there. And stay extreme. Stay extreme. We'll talk about it.
Feel the pain. Stop, what an awesome bomb. You go down and you never come home.